What's up, everybody? I'm back. I am live, and this is kind of an impromptu stream. I was not planning on doing it today. Um, I just didn't have any plans to do a stream. I have a larger stream that I'm preparing for, and I'm working on the slides for that right now. But today I wasn't planning on doing anything at the beginning of the day. But something pretty cool happened. As a lot of you guys know, the OA sell wall has been a big topic of conversation these past couple weeks. And just now, today, I caught it. We're past it, guys. We the Hedron Hex pairing, the price is officially above the OA sell wall. So that's what we're going to chat about. I don't anticipate this one being too long of a stream, just because we'll see where it goes. But I don't have like a whole like slide deck planned or like an in-depth topic. So we're just gonna riff on this one. I'm gonna tell you a little bit about the OA sell wall. Going to go a little bit of the history of it, kind of show you the liquidity chart and kind of like the implications of what this means for the system, because this is a very historic event, which is the reason why I wanted to come on. I wanted to make a stream on this day where like something just like we talk about big payday, and like how that was like a monumental moment in like the hex history. We're going to talk about the day that the price went above the OA sell wall, through the history of Hedron, probably in a good light, but even if it's in a bad light, we're going to be talking about this day forever. So I thought it would be good to kind of, um, document my thoughts about it at this current time, as well as interact with you guys and talk about it. So let's go through the chat. Let's see who's here. So we got Crypto Vince and Hydrology 101 first here. You guys both win a We Are All the Sloth address NFT, not to be confused with We Are All the Source address. They're different. But let's see. Hex Zombie, good to see you. 2 Negative. Lion of God, back at it again. Hey, Junior, good to see you again. Betty Blanco. Worden, Chico, Lex P. Who else we got? Ryan D. Yes, I do abide. The sloth abides. Let's see. May the sloth rise. I'm really glad to be live with you. It's been a little bit. I was on Sam's channel, I think yesterday. It feels like a while ago, actually. So go check out Sam Stolt's channel. And not Sam Stolt, like Stolt, I think is the name of the channel. And we talked for a solid like hour 15 minutes about Hedron. And we didn't talk too much Icosa, actually. We mostly talked about just Hedron on its own. So go check that out. There's some solid information for those of you who want a refresher on that. Let's see. Keep the price down, please. I think the time for price down is over. I think it's price go up. So whatever you've locked in, enjoy the ride. Let's see. Who else we got? Hexiest man in the world. Good to see you, man. I hope you're doing well. Silver, hey, yo, great work, brother. I've enjoyed both of the videos that you pulled out. The last one you did was really funny, and the one before that talking about the funds that were given to the funds that were given for the We Are All the Source address, the WhatsApp NFTs, and like the potentiality of that, what those funds could be used for, assuming a benevolent actor is holding them, which is, I think, a fair assumption. And there's some things I didn't think about, like the whole Maxi thing you were talking about. Like before, I was like, this is kind of weird. Like, why is there so much Maxi in there? I don't really get it. I didn't think too much of it. But like your point of, this is essentially a refresh or a reset button, or like a big like boost to the Hedron system in 15 years. So it's like, oh man. And this is a concern some people have had. It's like, oh man, in 15 years, there's so little Hedron mintable. The t-shirt rate's going to be so high. There's so little Icosa mintable. Like, will the yield sufficiently incentivize people to like continue to participate? And now it's like, well, if we needed more of a jump start or kind of like some more like a second bootstrapping phase, well, the funds are there. An entity who at least we can assume has the best interests of the Hedron, Icosa, and Hex system at heart has a huge amount of a coin who's going to pay out a huge amount of Hex and Hedron at that 15-year point where, we're going to see a bunch of big Hex stakes coming out too. So thank you for pointing that out. Anybody who hasn't seen that, go check out Silver's video. It's worth a couple watches. Blue Bum, good to see you, man. I hope you're doing all right. Oh, where are we going? There's most people here. Mems. Yeah, I see. OA Hedron has been redistributed to the Hedronians. In a way, I think so. So if it was a Hex Hedron pair, and if it goes all the way up, I think it has totally sold out of Hedron and is 100% Hex right now. I think that's how that works. Somebody correct me in the chat. Bree, good to see you. All right, I think we've pretty much caught up. What you got? Corey Walker, Icosa staking is going to explode even more when Hedron had triple the value. Yes. So like, don't forget, like with Icosa staking, you also get Hedron, and so if the Hedron price is high, like that could actually be a significant part of your yield, especially when HSIs are sold to the liquidation auction. That's where it comes from, the advance that gets taken when that action occurs. So like we had a big event happen that first day, and then in 90 days, maybe we get some more sold. Who we'll have to see, but like, you know, let's speculate for what Silver was talking about before. Maybe every quarter the entity that owns the address that gets all the funds for what's like seeds a little bit of liquidity. Well, that's going to be Hedron given to the Icosa stakers. But also, like as the feedback loop gets bolstered and gets utilized and is running, people will be incentivized to sell their HSIs or make HSIs to sell for Icosa, which will then create a constant drip of Hedron yield into the Icosa staking pool, giving it like extra value on top of like just the Icosa that it gets. But yeah. All right. So I am caught up in the chat. Let's get into the topic at hand, shall we? And I think it would be appropriate to start with a little bit of history. Like, what is the OA sell wall? Kind of like, when did it get created and like why it got created? Because I think that's important to understand when we're looking at why today is so important. So let's go ahead and add this to the stream. Perfect. So this is the Hedron to USD chart. Let's see. And so what we have here is it's on the daily. And this was the beginning, and this is where we're at now. Not looking too bad. Let's see what it looks like. Unlogged looks pretty cool too. But so if we look, let's look at this area right here. So this very first explosive area. So if we look, so this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So there's an 8-day downtrend at the beginning. And then from that low to the high that happened up here, let's take a look. Excuse me. So we'll just do it from the low to the very high. So in 9 days, we got about a 13x. So in just about a week, Hedron's price 13x, like right off the gate, just immediately, straight up, no structure, just like green dildos all the way to the top. And this pair right here, the Hedron USD pair, was the primary liquidity pair for Hedron. And when we saw this major run up, this like 13x run up, FOMO induced. People were first people were starting to understand like, oh, like Hedron actually has some real utility, is tied to the B share. This could actually be something, and like there were like rumblings of like the greatness of this coin really early on in this first week after that first downtrend. And you can go back on my channel. I was talking about it too. You can go on my channel with my very first appearance was on Hexray Vision, and I was talking with Hexray and David Feeder. Very historic stream for me at the very least. So go check that out. I have some clips on my channel. But we were talking about this stuff, and we were talking about it on this downtrend. But what was happening on this run up, because the primary pair of Hedron was with USDC and FOMO started to kick in, people started taking their HEX and selling it for Hedron. Now, because there was no specific Hedron to HEX liquidity pair, what the yes, David, I remember that stream. You remember you guys thought I was a troll because we had like some trouble like getting me on like the right Twitter handle and stuff. You guys almost didn't have me on. You thought I was just trolling you guys. That's funny. I got lucky. But so the primary pairing was Hedron versus USDC, but people were selling their HEX for Hedron because of the FOMO. But because there was no Hedron to HEX pairing, what happened was the DEX that you were swapping with would take the HEX you were selling, sell it for USD, and then take that USD and buy Hedron with it. So the HEX price was hurting because so many people were FOMOing with their HEX into the Hedron chart. And obviously the OA doesn't like this. It's like, oh, whoa, this coin is like this coin is hurting the HEX chart, and the HEX chart was actually pretty weak at that time. We were already in the middle of our long drawn out bear market. We're probably in anywhere between 8 to 10 cents at that point. And so like more downside pressure because of some random coin that just launched wasn't good. And the OA, and its daughter addresses just happened to get a bunch of this Hedron because it has so much hex in its hex stakes. So what it did was it claimed first, and then it minted a bunch of its Hedron, and then it took that Hedron and hex, put it in a liquidity pair, and then put it as a sell order, like a sell side liquidity. So as the Hedron price would go up, Hedron, it would sell Hedron for hex, and it put like a cap on the price, or at least like a ceiling. A wall is a good word, because a ceiling is like maybe you can't go through it, but it's not necessarily a ceiling. It's like an obstacle for higher price targets. And this was like pretty, at the time, kind of devastating. Like people were like, oh man, the OA has dampened the returns of Hedron, and like it's never gonna pump, and we're like not gonna see any more gains from this coin anymore. But in my opinion, I don't think it was like the worst move for the OA to do, considering its incentives. Like you really don't want your coin to be dumping just because this other coin is pumping. So at the very least, let's not hurt the USDC price. If people are selling their hex for Hedron, let's just make sure that liquidity pairing is strong, so that can't happen. And so that brings it. And then, obviously we saw a very long, let's see how long this was. Let's see what the opportunity was back in the day that doesn't exist anymore. This might be the all-time bottom, guys. Like, I think I can't. If we went to that level again, I can't imagine it. But let's see. So from that top to the bottom, we did a 97% dip in about 99 days. So a little over 3 months. We did a 97% dip. And so now we have recovered from that, obviously, and from that dip till now, we've done from the high, we'll do the wick, and we'll just do where we're currently at. We've done that's a negative. Let's switch this. Let's go here, here, and here. So we've done a 19x in about 70 days, which is pretty impressive which is pretty impressive for being in a bear market, and hex hasn't been moving. Like this has been its own independent thing, independent movement away from hex, even though it is tied to it. But like hex has been holding steady around the 4 to 7 cent mark this whole time, and we've gotten a 19x. But let's take a look at the liquidity. So this is the OA sell wall. If you go onto Uniswap and you go to the hex Hedron 1% pool, this is where the OA put that sell wall. And this big ass thing right here, this is the wall. So before we were on this side of the wall. And what that means is anytime the hex to Hedron price would go into it, people who are trying to buy Hedron with hex would then, the OA owning this liquidity would technically be selling its Hedron and buying the hex that is being sold into it. And so because this is so thick, we needed to be able to buy up all of the Hedron that is in here to get over it. And until we were able to do that, the price relative to hex wouldn't change. Now, the USD price could fluctuate because hex and Hedron has its own USDC price. But in terms of the hex to Hedron price, we needed Hedron to outperform hex sufficiently with enough volume to get over the wall. And we've done that. And actually, we're pretty far over. We're like, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, or the 8th tick to the right of this wall. And I'm going to talk about what being on the right to this wall means. But first, something interesting is as the hex to Hedron ratio got into this wall, say the USDC price of Hedron continued to go up. At that point, like arbitrage bots would then fix the ratios relative from the Hedron USD, hex USD, and then make it congruent with the hex to Hedron chart. And so actually the arbitrage bots in a way were helping us break through this wall because they were, I guess they would be, if Hedron was high, they would be buying Hedron and then selling it in here to get hex, or the other way around. I can't remember. But arbitrage bots were essentially kind of helping. Once we're in here, arbitrage bots would take over to make sure that the ratio would stay the same and kind of start eating through the wall a little bit on their own. Hedrology 101, throw me a comment in here, just if I got that correctly, or if there's any clarity on that. But now we are on the right side of this wall. So when you're on the left side of a liquidity wall, anything to the right of it is technically a sell side order or sell side liquidity. So as you enter into it, it is buying up. It is selling the asset, the main pair of the chart it is selling the main coin that the chart is measuring, and then you are buying the coin people are selling into. When you get to the right side of this wall, the opposite happens. You become bid support or buy support. And what that means is if people start selling their Hedron for a hex and it goes in here, this wall would start buying up that Hedron and giving them hex. So just as we needed to work through this wall and buy all the way through it, people now, and this is as long as the liquidity stays up. So the OA could pull this at any time, and that completely invalidates everything that I'm saying, and we have to reevaluate. Silver, I'll get to your question in a minute. I've started. I'm just going to get through this point. So now this thing right here, this wall, kind of acts like a trampoline or a floor where we need a large amount of sell pressure to be able to be pushed through this thing to completely sell all the Hedron back into hex and get it on this left side. Now, here we go. Here's a good point. 74.3 million hex as buy support. So we essentially need to sell through 74.3 million hex, which let's look at what that price is. So I'll go to let's go here. Let's go to the hex pair. Hex USDC 5 cents, and we'll go show calculator. I like using this calculator, by the way, but let's see 7 4 3 1 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 7.4 million hex. So that's about $377,000. So about 300. I think I got that right. Yeah, $377,000 of bid support is what we have for the Uniswap pool and the hex to Hedron pair. And so now, anytime people start to sell this down, we have support. And so, but what's cool about this is that this is like hex to Hedron. This $3.7 million. Oops. Thanks, man. I don't know why I got that math wrong, but thank you. $3.7 million. It seemed low. I felt like I was off by a factor of 10. But anyways, $3.7 million that needs to be sold to get us back under the sell wall. But like I was saying, this is the hex to Hedron pair. So as the price of hex starts to move up, this wall is going to act as a force or a floor. As a floor, I think you used the V2 pool. Okay. This acts like a floor for the Hedron price, because as it pushes up, if this acts as like a trampoline, it's going to push the Hedron USDC price up with it as well. And that's why what we just did was so important. Not just because there's like, there's clear skies ahead in terms of liquidity. So like there's going to be a lot of slippage. There's going to be, both to the upside and the downside. Like if you're trying to sell in these ranges, like you're going to eat some slippage both ways. But it allows the price to be more pumpable as we start going up, and expect people to start adding liquidity because like the fees are there. That's where the volume is. But where was I going with that? But as the hex price goes up and this ratio stays the same, because this liquidity is so thick, it's kind of like a Hart's law thing where the most liquidity is, that's like the two items are paired together. So now as hex goes up, Hedron is going to go up with it, because this wall right here is literally starting to push it up in terms of USDC price. So like arbitrage bots will start taking advantage of any discrepancy in USDC price because this wall is so thick. They have all of this money to play with for arbitrage opportunities. Okay. Where was I going with that? Okay, this is why this is important. Because in order to get below the wall again, we need a lot of sell pressure. Now, Hedron has typically had a history of being associated with infinite sell pressure on the system. But the reality is most of the large players have lost the 2 years of backlog that they accumulated day one of Hedron because they dumped it. Anybody who hasn't done that has proven to hold all that mintable Hedron, and we can make a fair assumption, or at least a probabilistic assumption, that they won't be a net dumper in the system. And so what that means is that we really and the people who dump that 2-year supply have been consistently dumping, but they don't have that much hedron to dump in dollar terms or like in volume relative to the size of the liquidity pools. So it's like hedron has this reputation of being a dumpable token, but I'm struggling to find where the sell pressure would be, especially since we have a lot of hedron locked up now, and we know in about 80 days about 38,000 T shares start to go up on the liquidation market. So this hedron that you have is going to be directly redeemable for T shares, potentially at a discount. And at the very least, people will bid it up where there is no discount anymore. And that just means hedron burn. Hedron burn is less sell pressure in the future, and we already don't have enough sell pressure. Like, let's see, no accounts have the power to sell that much outside of the OA, SA, or Godwell. So what that means is, I guess we have 3 entities that could potentially push it down. One of which, the SA, is native to the system, so it's going to do its best. The OA, I think, with hedron being tied to Hex in this way and moving it up with it, allows for Hex to be more valuable over time through like the ratios of the prices. Like hedron going up is really good for the Hex price. So if the OA wants to do what's beneficial for Hex, actually being benevolent towards hedron, I think, is the most logical choice. And then Godwell. And Godwell is like its own entity that does its own things. And so, what happens there happens there. We can't really make a solid assumption on it. But I am struggling to find where the sell pressure is going to be, and everything going into the future is reducing sell pressure. So, this is not financial advice, but this is what the data is telling me. The data is telling me is we have $3.7 million of support for the price, and we don't have any entities that can push us below that. And we're at the bottom of a Hex bear market. We're like 90+% down, 95% down. So what happens when Hex goes up? According to everything I've laid out, hedron's going up with it. And then you just add the fuel to the fire of the burning, the lockups for the pools. We are all the SA, hedron's still getting sent there. The We Are All the SA contract, has a war chest now to help all of this, to continue to support the system. People believe in it now. People who were skeptical of hedron, like whales, shark levels, they're starting to understand the system. Like a lot of people who are like, yeah, this stuff is dumb. It's like, no, this stuff is actually pretty cool. Now that we have the whole system, I see the entire picture. Everything's turning bullish. Everything is turning bullish in a sea of red when everybody is just waiting for Bitcoin to go up. And this is what we're doing before that even happens, before real money has started flowing into the system. And we are the ones who are here early to take advantage of it. Because now we can get the bags of other people. We can obtain the bags that will never be able to be minted in the future, nor will ever be able to be purchased in the future. Like, yeah, maybe 10 million hedron right now is something to scoff at. It's not. Let's see how much 10 million. Let's see how much 10 million hedron is. Let's see what that is. Calculator. 10, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. $33. 10 million is $33. Now let me put that into perspective for you, okay? If you have a 1 T share 5555 stake, you get 5,555,000 hedron at the very end of that 15 years. You can advance on it, but you put your Hex stake at risk. But if you want to hard get those coins, if you want to hard get your hedron for 1 T share, which is a couple $100 right now at a 95% dip, if you leverage your 15 years of your time, and then you have to wait for it to get all of it, you get half. You get half of this. A little more than half, about 55%. That's what I'm seeing. That's where we're at. And you know what? You can get basically 2 T shares of hedron for $60 still, after a 19x run up in 70 days. And you can yield on it. Trustless yield, decentralized yield. And you know what? You can borrow with it. You can make a Hex stake, and you now have collateral for debt, for an advance, where you don't have to go to a middleman to get it. You can just leverage your Hex stake and then leverage the value of whatever the liquidity pool says the price is to do whatever you want immediately today. By locking up coins that earn you trustless yield, you can get debt in a decentralized and trustless way to do whatever you want. So you lock up your money and earn money, and then you have liquid money at the same time, which is the Hedron. And you can stake that if you want. And then you get Icosa and stake that. Like, I don't know, man. This is why I want to come on today, because like all of this stuff is happening at once. Everything is like coming together, mashing together, and we're still like, it's like what, 2-3 months away from the first major liquidation auction, like a big day, payday kind of event. Whew, man, it's exciting. Part of me doesn't really, not that I don't believe it, but like you read about these kind of opportunities in books, or like you see them in movies and you're like, well, that doesn't actually happen. Like, yeah, that happened in the past, but like that couldn't happen to me. Why would I ever stumble upon an opportunity as big as that? And the Hex OGs in the chat kind of understand this, because they've already hit one of these big wins by getting in Hex so early, getting their T shares. Now they have a bunch of Hedron. Like they're sitting pretty. But the opportunity that the Hex OGs had still exists, in my opinion. Not financial advice. This could be wrong. Like I'm a fallible person. I don't necessarily get everything. I won't get everything right all the time, and I can be wrong about this. But if what I believe is correct, we have the same, if not greater, opportunity with these new systems. I don't know, man. It's exciting, and even though it hasn't materialized quite yet, I'm excited because I know we're going to look back on these times in the same way the Hex OGs look back at their early days of Hex with nostalgia and gratitude. I think now is that moment. Now are those moments where we look back and it's like, man, that was really fun. I really enjoyed that time. There was so much excitement. There was so much hope. There was so much potential out there. And that's where we're at. So yeah, that's all I have for you guys in terms of the main topic today. I appreciate you listening. Let's do a little chat service. I know I kind of went on a little monologue there, but let's see. Before I get in the chat, let me do a little housekeeping. Like, comment, subscribe, all of that jazz. For all 161 of you watching, I appreciate your viewership. Go follow me on Twitter, SlothCrypto3. The link is in the description. As many of you probably already know, I started offering consultations, one-on-one consultations. And man, let me say, the support that I've been getting and the how well people have received it has been very humbling. You know, I've already booked several consultations. I'm really appreciative of everybody who has, you know, trusted me with your money and your time, and you know, value my opinion to such a degree that you're willing to pay for it. And I really appreciate that. And I'm looking forward to trying to provide you with as much value as I possibly can in the time that we have together for the consult. As I said before, the price is $400 an hour, but I'm offering a 50% discount for the first 10 people who sign up. And as of now, there are 3 50% off consultations still available. These are just a first come, first serve basis. Whoever makes the payment first gets it. You know, I've had a couple people DM me, be like, I'm interested, and then I'll tell them the details. And they seem like they're going to want to do it, but I'm going to give it first come, first serve. Like, I'm not going to play any favorites if you contact me first or not. Whoever sends the money to the address that I give you first will get the 50% off discount. And after 3 more have been sold, after I get 3 more payments, it's going to be $400. So 3 more people get $200 1-hour sessions, and then everybody else said it's going to be $400. If you want that service, please. Well, first, before I tell you how to take advantage of it, most of everything that you'll probably hear in the consult you can get from my channel for absolutely free. That's never going to change. I'm always going to put my best stuff, my most valuable stuff, public on my channel for free. So if don't feel obligated or like you're missing out if you don't get a consult, because you can find all of the information pretty much I'm going to tell these people in my channel. Also, these consults are not like financial advice. These are primarily educational sessions where, you know, you can use me as a backboard to talk strategy to. You can use me to explain parts of the hexahedron icosis system. And then we can learn together faster than it would take for you to go through all of my content and all of my clips. What else? There was one more thing for that. Oh, and also it's not just limited to hexahedron icosis stuff, but it's also like we can talk liquidity providing, we can talk GameFi even. I haven't talked about that much on my channel, but the sky's the limit. Whatever we want to talk about, we can talk about. And so if you want to take advantage of that opportunity, DM me on Twitter and I'll give you all the details there. All right. All right, let's go through. There's one question from Silver. Can you talk about why it's good to have Hedron hex pairs, not USDC pairs? Well, I don't know if I'm going to say this in the way that you were thinking of. I can't think of off the top of my head, but having a Hedron hex USDC pair essentially like bonds the USDC prices together, so that if there's ever any fluctuation of the USDC prices relative to the ratio of hex to Hedron, arbitrage bots will take advantage of that and like make sure that the ratio is set to what the Hedron to hex pair is. And so when that happens, any movement in one of the prices over the other is going to kind of pull it with it. It's like a Hart's law kind of thing. So we want the liquidity to be as bonded as possible so we can move together as much as possible. I'm not sure if that's what you were trying to get at, but that's what I can think of off the top of my head. Okay, let's see. Go ahead, start dropping questions, guys. I'll stay on for as long as we got questions. So anything that we talk about in the consults will be the most up-to-date news. Let's see. So I'm just start going through chat, start throwing questions. Hopefully you can get 15 minutes of Q&A before we head up. Let's see. Yeah, thanks. I read that. Yeah, not financial advice, guys. Like I'm just some student. I'm not like a financial expert or anything. I just happen to understand one system very well and can help you understand that system a little bit better. Let's see. Hey, it's good to see you, Hudat. Yeah, magic is real. We are blessed. Absolutely. Warhammer. So it's $400 base rate, but there are 3 more sessions for $200. I'm not going to make my bonus Hedron. Not yet. Yeah. Not a bad move. You know, if you have bought a significant Hedron bag off the market because you have the ability to, you can just wait for the AMR bonus or just never mint it until your stake is up. Let's see. Try super. He hit the daily. You gave too much money away, Silver, to other people, man. You couldn't help me. You couldn't give me a little bit. That's all right. I will have plenty of streams. Oh, let's see. Where are we at? Who is the second best person in crypto? I'm gonna say Alex. He's been awfully quiet lately, which makes me want to think that things are in the works. Let's see. Yep, nice little cup formation. So we got a nice little cup and handle happening. So that's a pretty bullish pattern. Not funny. I'm just obsessed. Oh, let's see. What's up, X Carpenter? X Carpenter, good to see you, man. If it ain't the fastest talking sloth I ever did see. Yeah, I got to work on that. Sometimes I talk too fast when I get excited. I got to slow it down a little bit, but let's see. Oh, here's a question. LP Max, is it worth buying HSIs or just keeping the Hedron until we really moon? That's a really good point. That's a very good point because you got this kind of like, and it all kind of works out overall, but you got this conundrum. It's like, man, I got this coin that's redeemable for some T-shares right now, but like the pumpability of it is like super high. Like we could pump really high with it. So do I want the price appreciation or do I want the hex stake? And that's something you're going to have to decide from your own, on your own. I have my own strategy set and I'll share it with you guys. I'm really not looking to buy much off the liquidation auction unless I can get like a fire sale, like basically the base rate or a little bit higher. And that's just because I value my Hedron position. I'm about where I want to be in terms of like the staker classes, and I just don't want to lose it. I'd rather just yield on it. Other people may play the buying game, but here's the cool thing. If everyone's like, no, I'm holding my Hedron close to my chest, well, guess what? The deals are better. And so if the deals are better, people are like, oh, okay, well, maybe I can bid. And then people start bidding, and then you get Hedron burn. So it's like, people don't bid, the prices are better, so therefore people bid. So people are going to bid. And go watch my video with Sam. I explained why all the HSIs, they're always everybody's always incentive to make at least the first bid. So like some Hedron will get burned. How important is the what's up versus staking, etc.? How significant is this time lock opportunity? Yeah, so the significance of it is that the pool closes in about 3 days. So it earns ICOSA at the same rate that the Hedron and ICOSA pool does. The previous day's burnt B shares divided by the T share rate. But unlike the Hedron and ICOSA pool, where you can be diluted after Sunday, I think at 8 p.m. Eastern, 000 UTC, nobody else can enter the pool. So you can never be diluted for the history of forever because no other NFTs can ever be minted. Where was I going with that? No other NFTs can be minted, but in order to get the yield, you need to burn the NFT. And so what's happening is you're earning yield over time, but if you ever actually want that yield, that ICOSA that you get, you have to give up your future yield. You also have because it's an NFT, you can sell it on the market. And if you sell it on the market, you get cash now, but it's kind of the same thing. You don't get that yield anymore. The only difference is you're not inflating everybody else. So whenever an NFT is burned, everybody else gets a bigger payout going forward. So instead of being deflated over time, you are inflated over time. And so there's been some concerns that too much money has entered into this pool. People have like FOMO'd into it, and now like the yield or the returns aren't really good. And when you keep in mind that you don't get your principal, like you are essentially giving away your principal for this NFT, you have to at least, the yield has to at least reach what you put in for you to break even. So it's not like the Hex or the Hedron or ICOSA or even Hex stakes where you maintain your principal and you just get yield. Like you lose your principal, you start out at like basically 100% loss. Like you just have some like token, and then that token is over time redeemable for more and more ICOSA. So keep that in mind. Now, this is important because this is more of a long-term play for people, right? Like you're like, I am giving up my money now because I believe in the entirety of the system and I want my piece of this specific pie. And I want to hold this for a long time where eventually the yield will pay out. So that's something you're going to have to ask on your own. If you want to talk through it, we can talk over one-on-one. Just DM me on Twitter and we'll set something up. All right. Yeah. Hey, I got the question right. I'm smart. I've taken a lot of tests, man. I know how to answer these questions. Yeah, it is a time-sensitive opportunity. You only got a couple days. All right. Let's see. Macon, can you do a quick explanation of the ICOSA NFT? I don't know how many ICOSA I get from holding it, etc. So I just talked about it. The what's a thing. So that should answer most of your questions. But how do I know how many ICOSA I'll get from holding it? You don't. Once the pool ends, you'll know your relative position to everybody else. But because it's calculated by the previous day's burnt B shares, 1 second. Excuse me, sparkling water. Because once the pool ends, you'll know your relative position, but the exact payout is always variable every day. We know that about 41,000 ICOSA will be going to the pool for 360 days, or I guess 350 now. And so you can take your relative position in the pool, divide that or multiply that by 41,000, and you know at minimum you're getting that much per NFT, or for all your NFT. And then the ICOSA dApp tells you. Let's see. Let me turn my fan on real quick. Let me know if you guys can hear the fan. Skip ahead a little bit. Oh yeah, yeah. All right, guys. Let's see. With $500, would you buy Wetza or would you stake ICOSA? So that determines like that's determined on like your timeline and like whether or not you want to lose your principal and how confident are you in the system overall. So the more confident you are and the less you need the money now, the more you would lean towards the Wetza pool. I would divide it probably into like 5 $100 ones so you can like redeem it without losing all of your yield. But like if you want to make sure, hey, I'm not losing my $500 or at least the ICOSA I get for the $500 and I just want to yield, then that goes to the ICOSA pool. Yeah, the last numbers that I ran for 29,000 T-shares was about 6 trillion Hedron. Give or take a couple billion, couple hundred billion, a couple hundred billion Hedron. No big deal. Now it's like 39K. So like, I guess add 50% to that, maybe closer to 9 trillion Hedron. That's pretty crazy. Especially if you think about that, the whole system for a year was seeded with 3 trillion. So we could be tripling that in like a couple days. Let's see. No. No, no worries, man. No worries, man. I can read Spanish. Yes, I've been enjoying mine too. All right, let's see what's at the bottom. Oh, hey, Jawa. Thanks for the dollar. Oh, guys, good. That's a good point. Um, Jawa, go on my Twitter. I retweeted a tweet from Jawa, but it looks like What's NFTs are going to get unique art for them too. And Jawa is kind of leading the charge with that, like he does with all cool artwork. You know, the sloth, that's my character. He made that for me, so keep that in mind. 3 days, and then like you get some cool JPEGs with your yield, and we all know how great JPEGs are on a decentralized serial number. So look forward to that. Oh man. Dude, so I was in a little conundrum before I came on. I'm like, man, the price is running away from me. I need to buy. It's like, yeah, I'll go stream instead. We'll see what happens. It's actually sad. So I got back from jujitsu, and I saw that we were on like a little bit of a dip. Like it dipped down to like, I don't know, under like 3,000. And I was like, cool, okay, I'm gonna buy, but I'm hungry. I haven't really eaten today. Let me go eat first. And I come back and it's like 3,400. I'm like, damn, I missed the dip. I almost had it. I was right there. I could have done it. I just needed to not eat for another 3 minutes. I just laugh now. It's just funny. Oh, let's see. Yeah. Yep. Hey, thank you, Roof Dog. I appreciate it. And yeah, I appreciate you guys watching. Having 166 people watching. Yeah, it's great. Yep, Hex Spartan. Good to see you, man. I hope you're doing well. Another one of the goats of the Hedron mods. Oh, hey, Cryptographics. What's up, man? Good to see you. I don't think I saw any of your chats beforehand. But yeah, go check out Cryptographics. He has a really great introductory content for Icosa and Hedron. So go check those out. And then lately he's been diving into like the statistics or the statistics and the numbers for like the HSI payout. So he's a great resource, especially sometimes I talk too fast and he explains things better than me. So yeah, go check out Cryptographics. Great channel. Oh, let's see. Okay, we're getting close. Try to get a what's up, and now my MetaMask just took the fees and said transaction. Yeah, so like if the transaction fails, you just lose your gas fee. But you keep the money that you were going to pay. So just up your gas, and then that'll get it to go through faster. Less people. And hey, by the way, in case you forgot, of all this bullishness that we've been talking about, just in case you forgot, you get a copy on Pulse Chain, and maybe if the merge happens, excuse me, you get a third copy. So yield on yield on yield times 2, potentially times 3. You accumulate yield in Icosa if you put more Icosa in the pool. And you pull down times percent. No. So the yield that you lock in at 0.000 UTC time is done. Like you have it, it's done. That doesn't change. Like the payout once you lock in, just like with Hex, like the daily payout, like you keep that forever. That never goes away. It's only things in the future that are diluted. I know a lot of people are talking about lower lows, but like, here's the thing about that. You have to have sellers. And the thing that I'm struggling to see is like where the sellers are. And that could just be a personal short-sightedness or like there's something I'm not seeing, like a data point I'm not seeing or I haven't seen yet. But like yeah, there needs to be sell pressure. And so it's possible that, we start to decouple a little bit from the greater market. But hey, you never know. Like people could get kind of skittish, everything goes down, and then we start to sell. So like it's possible. And maybe like keep some money aside if you think that's a possibility, calculate like, okay, if the price goes this low and I have this much money, I can get this much percent or multiply my bags by this much. And just keep that like, that's your dip buying money. That's your fire sell money. Just play both ways. That's what I do. I've become to think less and less of like, oh, let me try to predict or like think about where the price is going to go or if it's going to go low. Or it's just like I position myself in a way where if the price goes up, I'm happy, and if the price goes down, I'm happy. Uh, yes, Hedron looking bullish. It looks like Bree has turned around from a bear to a bull. welcome to the party, Bree. Oh, hey, jujitsu question. A little outside of crypto. Let's see. Been considering trying jujitsu. How long have you been doing it? So I've been doing it about like 3, 4 years now. One of those was the year where we were all indoors, and so I didn't really do it that year, but yeah, been doing it for about 3 years. I just got my blue belt not too long ago, so that was pretty fun. But yeah, it's a lot of fun. Go try it out. Go to the most places have like a free class, free week, or like a week trial for like $20 or something like that. Go try it out. It's a lot of fun. My favorite part of jiu-jitsu is that you get to exercise while laying down. It's my sloth nature. Oh man, let's see. Imagine having a tiny little what's the NFT that face value is low, but it manages to get some kick-ass art that someone really wants, so you sell it on OpenSea. Yes, get the degen, the NFT degens to buy it for an inflated price because they don't know what it actually is. Oh man, yep, yep, it's happening fast, which is a good thing and maybe a bad thing if you didn't get enough, but it's awesome to see at the very least. Let's see. Can Hedron do 1000x? If so, what time frame? So never give the general rule. Never give price and time at the same time. Can Hedron do 1000x? Well, Hex did a 10,000x and Bitcoin did a 6.9 million x. So I think 1000x is possible. How probable? We'll have to let time tell. If so, what time frame? I have no idea. I can't help you with that. Sorry, man. Or sorry. Andrea? Yeah. Hedronians. Yeah, what's up, Crypto Knight? Good to see you. All right, let's see. Oh, hey, thanks, Mango. I appreciate it. Let's see. What are we at? Get the go ahead and hit the like, brother, guys. Like button, guys. Get those up. Help me out with the algorithm. I'd appreciate it. Oh man. Okay, so let's see. I'm catching up. Let's see. Even Richard is calling for lower lows. Would it be more intelligent play to be in dry powder? That's for you to decide. So if you believe that we're going lower, then maybe having a dry powder position would be beneficial. If you really believe it, like selling out of your position would probably be beneficial. One thing I've learned over time from being in crypto is it's probably best just to play out your personal thesis and then taper that with risk management strategies relative to your confidence in what you believe is going to happen. But yeah, if you think prices are going lower, it makes sense to have dry powder. Let's see. Hey, Clintrons. Your understanding of this ecosystem amazes me. Your logic, hey, of course. I just appreciate that people like to listen to me ramble for 48 minutes now. I didn't expect to be on this long, but hey, you guys keep me going, and I'm having a lot of fun. Understand that providing liquidity between Hex and Icosa is like earning fees on a stablecoin pool. Yep. So this is something I'm going to be talking about in the stream that I'm preparing whenever it comes up. I've been procrastinating a little bit on that. Sorry, guys. All right. Oh, yeah. Go check out that interview with Alex and Adam Stokes. It was really good. All right. Let's see. How much Hedron is considered a lot? Well, I think the total supply of Hedron right now, and let's see. I'll pull up the Hedron contract on Etherscan. 94 trillion tokens. So that means for a squid position, you need 940 million tokens. So the equivalent of 100 T shares in Hex, like the relative position, in Hedron is 940 million. And then a dolphin is 9.4 billion. And then a shark is 94 billion. And then a whale is 9.4 trillion. So whatever relative staker class you think is a lot, there's your numbers. Let's see. Yeah, I am a little tired. I'm probably going to be calling it soon. I've had a long day at school and I just got out of jiu-jitsu. But I like this. I haven't had a chat this active before in a while, so I'm just enjoying the moment. But we are almost done. Let's see. Nope, it's already been yielding. People have already been yielding. I think that first day was 17%, 18% of your whatever you used to buy it, which that was pretty crazy. By $1 bill, once BTC drops below 11K, I'm ready for it. Hey, good luck, Luisito. I hope that works out for you, man. All right, guys. So let's see. recommend aiming for 10 billion as a great target for possible life-changing games. Yeah, I think 10 billion. Like if you can get 10 billion, like you are set. Yeah. All right, guys. Well, yeah, I'll answer this question before I go. Why do you call yourself Sloth? Just my favorite animal, man. No particular reason. I like sloths a lot. And I figured my online persona would be cool to have that in there as well. To be a sloth. And I'm a little lazy, but all right, guys, that is it for me. Jawa, thanks for the $1. I appreciate it. I'll throw it into Wetza and get me an NFT with cool art for $1. But I hope you guys found that content useful. Twitter, follow me on Twitter. Give me a like, subscribe if you don't have it. One-on-one consults, DM me on Twitter. I'll be back on soon with my larger stream. And you could probably catch me. Oh, okay. I'm going on Corey Costa's channel on Monday, 9 p.m. EST. So, like, what is that? What day is that? The 28th of August. I'm going on Corey Costa's channel at 9 p.m. So go check that out on his channel. I enjoy his interviews, and I'm honored that he invited me on. So that'll probably be my next appearance. But all right, guys, that is it for me. Let's hit the outro. Peace.